Hi everyone, it's Linda Canase with LyndaCreates, and I have a stitcher stamp project using a stamp that I designed for iCrafter called Latte Coffee Sentiments, and using a die from Trinity Stamps called Mini Cup Decor. And I just wanted to show the embroidery I did. I stamped it onto fabric, and then I embroidered it. And these are 5 coffee cups. So let me show you how I made this. I have everything stamped out. I have it mounted in my hoop. I'm going to start it with the away knot, and you go from the top down. I'm using 6 strands. Now to end the stitch without a knot, I'm just going to do a tiny little stitch. Just kind of hide a few tiny stitches here. Doing my away stitch here. I just wanted to show too that I got these silicone finger cots. I don't know what else they call them, but they are wonderful for stitching, gripping the thread as well, or the needle. So just wanted to share that. So if you see that popping up on your screen, so now I know you're all curious about the face. So we're going to do the face. So I'm going to use 2 strands of black, but I wanted to show this is when the stamp carrier sheet can come in real handy as reference. So I'm going to start off tiny eye, so it's going to be just 1 wrap on the French knot. Second eye is winking. I'm going to go and then a little smile, just a tiny one. The next time I do the open eye, I'm going to do a double wrap French knot. Now, I'm not going to go all the way to the bottom there because I'm going to add a little bit of coffee in there. And here I'm going to add a little bit of shading to the cup itself. There, coffee. using 2 strands of the lighter cream color that I used on the cup. Okay, so I have a little bit more to finish with that, but I'm going to leave that tail hanging up there because I want to come back in with it, and if I leave it across the top, it won't get tangled up with everything else. So I'm using the same coffee brown here in 2 strands and outline my heart. I want to be careful not to catch this white floss. That's why I left it on top, so I can see it. I'm going to go back to my white floss that I had left out here, finish off that last stitch of the heart, and now I could come in and do kind of a freestyle stitching of those little feathery edges. You can see the heart. One more thing I noticed, this cup I did in 6 strands, and this one I did in 3. And I like the smoothness on the 3 strands better because it is so tiny, the surface is so tiny. So from here on I'm going to do 3 strands in the different colors. I finished the outer part of the cup, and now I'm going to add the coffee in the inside. Now, I kind of came to the conclusion just now that I'm not going to do the faces because although the faces are really cute, they don't translate into this tiny embroidery as well. So I'll probably take this face off, and I won't stitch the faces on all of the rest of the pieces. So I have the whipped cream done. Let me see. You can see how it has a swirly texture. So there's my mocha frappuccino, and I'm going to add something else to that, but right now I'm going on to my next cup. trying a thing where it's 3 long stitches, 3 short stitches, because I have 3 shades of this color. Kind of want to see what it turns out like. So I'm going to show you on these little tails that are sticking out here. Let me show you what the back side looks like. So you could see where a lot of these were tucked into, or let me put it that way. You can see these lines are the ones that have the knots further away, the away stitches. So what you can do is come back, because everything is tucked in place now under other stitches. So very carefully cut these away. You don't want to cut the fabric. And I'm going to leave this one still because I have some more to stitch to hold that in place across the top of the cup. So that is how you clean it up after you do your away stitches. And what happens, again, you could see that if you go across where you're going to stitch, then when you stitch more on top of it, it actually holds it in place automatically. So I can go back in and trim a lot of this, but I'm just going to keep working on it. And I don't know if I explained what these are on my fingers. They are silicone finger guards. When I do a lot of embroidery, my fingers start to hurt. Best way to protect them. My very creamy coffee. And when you do something at an angle like this, where the edges come in, it's best to start in the middle. And if you pull it like that gently, you could see where a straight line is and start off with a straight stitch. So I finished all the cups, but I have one last thing I just wanted to add. I found that I had these little glass beads, and I wanted to add them because they look like ice cubes. I think I'll stop there. So I finished this up. I'm going to just remove it from the hoop. As I always like to do, I like to give it a quick iron to get rid of the hoop marks, and then I'll go on to finish it. I'm using something called Pellon Shape Flex, but what it is Pellon is a fusible fabric stabilizer. It has an adhesive or iron heat activated adhesive in the back. So this one happens to be mounted on white cotton fabric. So it's going to be a perfect backing. And what it does, it keeps things from unraveling as well. So this is Shape Flex, and it usually comes as a separate adhesive piece, but my old piece had cotton already on it. So I die cut it using the Trinity Stamp mini cup decor little cup holder, which is what I'm designing this around. So now what I have to do is cut this out to be a little bit larger than this backing so that I can turn in the edges. So I have the embroidery on this side, and on the back side I taped a template so that I can see where I want to add additional space. And I'm going to mark over here that I want it to come out a little bit further so that I'll have a little bit of a seam allowance there so that I can sew them together. But you can see the lines that I have to cut this out. I'm giving it about a 1/4 inch seam allowance. I have that. Now what I can do is go iron this so that the edges are tucked under. Turn these in, and I'm going to sew or adhere this down. I need some pins. I made this sewing box a few years ago from a thrifted double box. I don't know if you could see that. And I just patted one side so it became my pin cushion. So this is a little fiddly because I need to hold everything in place. But once I do, this Pellon will actually keep it from unraveling. Okay. Okay, and turn it over. Do a quick check. Everything's in place. One more step we need to do, and I'm leaving extra here so I can bind it around. Okay. So because it's not good to iron it with pins in it, I'm just going to take some white thread and I'm going to tack it down. Just stitch it in place. And you're going to remove these stitches later so you can do a very big loose stitch. Now this is where you want to make sure your corners are nice and clean. And now use the reverse tweezers, hold it in place, and pin it. And this is only for, it'll all be removed for the ironing part after it's ironed together. And again, this is just to hold everything in place while you iron. Now this pellon, what you want to do is make sure the textured side is down. The texture that you feel on this, what do they call it, shape flex, is the adhesive, the part that once you heat it sticks to the fabric. So you want to make sure that's facing downwards. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, so one last check. Everything is there. Okay, let me go iron it and I'll be right back. So it is adhered on the back with the pellon, and I took out the stitching around the side to hold it in place. And these are little mini coffee cups that you could get on Amazon. And this is what the Trinity Stamps cup holder fits. And it gets even cuter than that. Trinity Stamps has these, what do they call them? Stoppers. They have white and then they have these rainbow colors. And they go into the little tiny coffee lids. So I'm going to now attach So there's my cup holder. There's the lid. Let's put in my little stopper in there. And there you have Stitcher Stamp little coffee sleeve. So the stamp is from iCrafter, and it's called Latte Coffee Sentiments, so there's a whole bunch of words in there too. I designed that for iCrafter. And then Trinity Stamps makes this great die for called Mini Cup Decor, and there's a whole bunch of pieces so you could make some really cute projects. You could check out their website and see some ideas on decorating this. And then they also have the rainbow stoppers. They also have white stoppers. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for watching. Please check out LyndaCreates, that's Lynda with the Y, L-Y-N-D-A, LyndaCreates.com for more projects. I will see you in my next video. Bye.